Well, good evening, guys. It's Martin from Martin's Holiday Village, and welcome to Wednesday's edition of Coming to Your Sofa. And here we are. What a beautiful few days it's been. So it's like summer already. Feeling really positive and excited. Just want to get you all out on holidays and things. I'm delighted to say this evening. Oh, look at that. I've got a mess in the back of my table here. Let's move that along a little bit so it looks a bit more presentable. I've got a fabulous guy coming to join me. He's going to talk to you all about tours with a company called Trafalgar. And I'm wondering if this lovely person will be there. So, Martin's Holiday Village calling Lee from Trafalgar. Are you there, Lee?
I think I can hear you loud and clear. I'm here.
Oh, fabulous, fabulous. Welcome, Lee. How are you?
I'm fantastic. A bit like you, really. I think the hot weather and the sun that we had at the weekends has cheered me up no end. And obviously on the back of the news from Boris, I think we're all now starting to see light at the end of the tunnel and dreaming about going on holiday again.
Oh, I know. Just take me away. My suitcase has been packed since March 2020. It's ready to go. A bit dusty, but I'll dust it off, no problems. If someone says you can go somewhere. So, Lee, you're going to talk to us all about Trafalgar Tours and everything you've got to offer. And I don't know whether some people don't know a lot about Trafalgar. I'd say. Would you say that is a bit? Do you think it's
Yeah,
very well
yeah, I
known
think
in the UK?
it's a global name. It's well known around the world globally. In the UK, it is obviously still an up and coming name in the touring business, definitely. But we did win the best mainstream tour operator at the Globe Awards
Oh,
in
wow.
2020. So yeah, we are definitely on the way up in terms of our recognition in the UK. And what we find is, in terms of our guests, I'll go through it when I go through the presentation. But since we've been operating, we've had over 5 million guests travel with us, and 52% return on an annual basis. So once people experience how we tour differently, then they tend to come back time after time, which is great.
That's why we brought you on, is so you can get everybody on and they can obviously
Yeah,
come back again and again and keep booking
that's right.
tours.
That's right. Keep coming through you, Martin. You'll look after them, I know. So, yeah, and yeah, it's going to be a pleasure. I mean, tonight, what we'll do is just give people an overview of Trafalgar. So, anyone who doesn't know who we are, we can go through it. And then we're going to go through some of those amazing bucket list destinations that I think lots of people are dreaming about at the moment.
Fabulous, fabulous. Well, guys, as normal, you've probably heard me say this. It's been going on for about 6 weeks now. But if you do have any questions, do pop them down below, whichever way, whatever device you're on, and wherever it's positioned. Pop the questions on, and we will. And myself and Lee will answer them later on. I'm going to hand over to the fabulous Lee now, and he's going to go through his presentation, tell you what they've got to offer, and get us all enticed to book a tour. So over to you, Lee.
It's a pleasure. I'm going to share my screen so everybody can see what I am seeing at the moment, which will be great. And then we'll go through it all.
It's coming through.
Fantastic. Can you see
Brilliant.
me now?
We can
Can you see
see
the
and we can
screen?
hear you loud and clearly. So I'm going to leave you to have a chat. And there you go. The floor is yours.
It's a pleasure. Thank you so much. So thanks again, Martin, for having us on tonight. What we're just going to cover, just going to go through what we're going to go through this evening in regards to the topics we're going to be covering. As Martin said, some of you who are listening to us tonight may not know who Trafalgar Tours is and where we come from as a company. So first of all, we're going to go through Trafalgar Tours and basically where we originate from. So we're actually part of a bigger overall company called the Travel Corporation. We're then going to go through why touring is different on a Trafalgar trip and some of the reasons why we give an elevated experience when you travel with us. Then we're going to go through some of those amazing bucket list destinations that people are booking already for 2022 and also for 2023. And then we'll jump back to Martin at headquarters at the end, and we'll go through any questions that you may have. But in regards to where we originate as a company from South Africa. So that's where Trafalgar Tours originated. That's where the Travel Corporation originated, and it's a family-run company. So we're not driven by shareholders or profits. We're driven by family values and always putting the customer first. So our heritage really is in Africa. And the gentleman you see on the front there with the dark glasses, he's our chairman. His name is Stanley Tolman, and he moved to the UK in the late 1950s to start Trafalgar Tours. So Trafalgar Tours has been operating now for over 70 years, but we are part of the Trafalgar, the TTC, the Travel Corporation. That's a picture of Stanley there. You can see him, a famous picture with his brother at Trafalgar Square in London, and that's where it really started. And he started to actually put together high quality tours around the UK and Ireland, and it's grown to the biggest privately owned travel company in the world. So that family own over 40 award-winning brands. Now, thankfully, I only have to look after a handful of them. So I look after Trafalgar, Cost Saver, Insight Vacations, and Luxury Gold. So we have different levels depending on what you want for your trip. But it is the biggest privately owned travel company in the world. And with Trafalgar, when you travel on one of our itineraries, we want to do so much more than taking you on a guided trip just to see the must-see sites. We're going to take you under the skin of that destination, so you get to meet the memorable characters. You get to enjoy authentic experiences, and you'll come back having so much more from your holiday than just going around, driving by yourself and ticking off those must-see sites. So in regards to what we do and how we tour differently, just a little bit of background. I mentioned before, we've been operating now for over 70 years. We've won 90 awards in the industry, the touring industry. So we're the most globally awarded touring company in the world. We've had over 5 million guests travel with us and 53% travel return on an annual basis. And something that I think is really key is our average rating for our guided tours is 4.7 out of 5. So every single one of our trips, our guests can go on our website and they can give live reviews, totally unedited through FIFO, which is a company that allows guest reviews, and our average rating is 4.7 out of 5. So it gives you an indication why guests do return with us on a year-by-year basis. And in terms of where we go globally, everywhere. So we actually operate in 76 different countries around the world. And before we actually go into that and what we do, I just wanted to touch on what we have done to look after you, our guests, into 2021 and going into 2022, because it is a new world that we're traveling with. So we've put in place real strict well-being protocols to make sure that the moment you arrive on one of our guided trips, you're going to be looked after. And I think that's one of the things that guests are looking for now, is reassurance and confidence when they get to a destination that everything's going to be okay. It's going to be how they imagined it to be. And on a guided tour with Trafalgar, the great thing is you don't have to worry about anything at all, because we've done all the background work. When you arrive, you'll have a travel director with you to make that trip come alive and look after your every need. You'll have a diligent driver that will take you from A to B. We also have a well-being director, which I'll go into shortly. We've made sure that there's social distancing in place in terms of our vehicles, so we're going to be traveling on a smaller group. We've even vetted all our partners. So if we're in Italy, for example, and we're going to take you into the Vatican Museum, we'll make sure we go in via a separate entrance to everybody else. If we're in America and we're going to go to the Country Music Hall of Fame, again, it's VIP entrances that we include on all our itineraries. And it's making sure that even the restaurants that we go to, our hotels, that they adhere to our strict on-the-road protocols in terms of safety and well-being as well. And on top of that, if anything was to happen, there is 24/7 support for all our guests around the clock when they are traveling with us. And it's these credentials which has given us the Safe Travel stamp by the World Travel and Tourism Council. So you really can just sit back and enjoy the journey. And what we've added in, we're the only touring company in the world who's gone that extra level for this and next year to have a well-being director. So the travel director on your trip will make the itinerary come alive. They really are a friend in the foreign land. They know the language, they're enthusiastic, they're knowledgeable, they know all the best places to go off the beaten track. So they can look after that part of the trip and make it come alive. You'll have a driver who looks after your luggage and all your transportation from A to B. So when we arrive in the hotel, your bags are taken to your room. When we leave after 3 or 4 nights, your bag will be taken back onto the vehicle. You won't have to lift a finger. We even check in for you. We'll literally give you the room keys as you walk into the hotel foyer. And then in addition, we've got a well-being director. So if any of the guests have any questions or any anxieties or just needs an extra looking after, really, then we've got an extra person on that trip just to make sure that you can just sit back, relax, and enjoy the journey. And that's really what it's about with us. We're all about giving ease to you, our travelers, so you can look forward to your trips and really look forward to your holidays again. So what we do in addition to all this, we have door-to-door transfers included from the UK. And Martin, this is a really nice touch because it means that when the guests are excited about their holiday, that morning or that afternoon when they choose to leave to go to the airport, we'll have a private chauffeured car ready to pick them up from their home and then whisk them to the airport. And as long as they live within 150 miles of the airport they're choosing to fly from, that is included within the cost of the tour. And it's a private vehicle. You're not literally going around the houses. It's just you, private vehicle to the car, and it will collect you on your return into the UK as well. We've handpicked all the accommodation, and it's a 5 and a 4-star level. We've got a great selection of delicious meals included in real authentic settings. We try and eat not in the hotels. We really want our guests to dine locally and try real authentic food. We've talked about the travel director and the well-being director, but we also have local experts as well. We've got real character and charisma and can really what it's like to be in Venice, for example, or in Rome, or maybe in New York. And then we've got quality vehicles and all the iconic sites and experiences included. In terms of where we go, Martin, well, your guests will be happy because we go all over the world. From the UK, predominantly, we do have a lot of interest in USA and Canada. I've been lucky enough to actually travel on one of our Canadian itineraries, which I'll go into shortly. But we also have a massive array of itineraries for the UK and for Europe. Lots of people don't even know we do trips in the UK. We do have some amazing domestic offerings for the UK. So if you're looking for something for this year, take a look at some of our itineraries for Devon and Cornwall, for Scotland, or a general trip around the UK. Latin America is very, very popular, especially including Peru in the Inca Trail, but we also do all the key countries, Argentina, Brazil, and even on Antarctica. Asia is very, very popular for the likes of China, Japan, Vietnam, Cambodia, and India, and of course, beautiful Australia and New Zealand. And as I mentioned at the beginning of the presentation, our heritage is in Africa. I'll be showcasing some of the amazing safari itineraries we've got there as well. What we do, Martin, is we know that your guests and the guests listening to us tonight, they all want something different from the holiday. You may have some guests that want to go and explore a select region of the world. They might want to just have 8 or 9 nights in Tuscany, stay in a villa, and then have some amazing dining included. Guess what? We've got itineraries for that. They're called regional explorers. You might have somebody that wants to go to Croatia, do Croatia by land and by sea. And guess what? We've got itineraries for that. You might have somebody that wants to do a really relaxing itinerary. So you can look at our at leisure itineraries. Oh, you might have families that want to travel with us as well. And we do have incredible family itineraries too. So we do differentiate our trips depending on the guest and what they want to get from their vacation, because we know everybody is different, really. So it's important that we do have different journey styles. But where Trafalgar really makes itself stand out from the crowd. How we really tour differently is the quality of the local experiences that we add in, the hotels that we utilize, how we can take you to those iconic sites in a seamless way, and how you can really dive into the culture and get under the skin of the destination. I'm going to talk you through some of the highlights. I mean, this is the Tuscan itinerary, Roman Tuscan highlights, which is absolutely amazing. Italy is very, very popular for 2021. I mean, the latter part, September, definitely. And also, we do have our 2022 dates on sale as well. Now, this chap here, you can't really see his face, but I think you can see that big beaming smile underneath the label. His name is Chef Libro, and he owns an absolute idyllic restaurant in the Tuscan hills. It's surrounded by these beautiful cypress trees and vineyards, and it really is real Italy. And what we do that day, we don't just go and dine with Chef Libro, his restaurant outside and among these beautiful trees and with live music and wine. We have this complete Italian Tuscan experience because he's a real character in his area and he's really well known. So we actually go to the local marketplace just outside of Florence with the chef, and he does it. This is his day-to-day ritual. He goes every single morning to get the fresh ingredients that he's going to prepare and he's going to put into his food later that day. And as soon as you arrive with the chef, everybody knows him. It's ciao, hey, Chef Libro. Everybody wants to know here. And you automatically feel a little bit like a VIP just being with him. And then he's really, really clever in the fact that he asked some of our guests to go and get some of his ingredients. He said, this is how you say this in Italian. Go and order this for me. And it's great because our guests get to connect with the local people. And it's not like doing a guided tour of an iconic site. This is a real, authentic experience. And then we go back to his restaurant with the ingredients. He does an amazing cooking demonstration. And then you dine outside in his opposite those vineyards in the Tuscan hills on a beautiful sunny afternoon in Italy. So it's those experiences that we do that make us different to the rest. And these experiences are on every single one of our itineraries. So if you are looking at one of these itineraries with Martin, have a look at what it will say. Dive into culture, connect with locals, and they are symbolized through the trips, and it gives these real examples of how we do things differently. And in Nashville, now you can't go to Nashville without going to the Country Music Hall of Fame. You just get swept up with the lifestyle, with the music, with how generous people are in Nashville in terms of how welcoming they are when you go there. And when we go to Nashville, we actually go to the Country Music Hall of Fame, and it's an incredible experience because we actually go in via a secret entrance, a VIP entrance, just for Trafalgar guests, and we go into a private auditorium, and we all take our seats, and then a member of Johnny Cash's family will come and meet our guests and talk about these amazing experiences of what it was like growing up with Johnny Cash and how he changed from this quiet, shy boy into this global superstar, and the highs and the lows. If anyone's seen the film Walk the Line, you'll know what I mean. But it's an amazing privilege to hear that from a member of his family in a private setting in one of the studios where he recorded a lot of his famous albums. And then afterwards, he played some of his greatest hits as well, again in that same studio. So incredible, amazing, once in a lifetime experiences that we like to include. And these are coupled with memorable hotel stays. So all your transportation's included. You've got your door-to-door transfer in the UK, you've got your travel director, you've got your driver making these itineraries come to life, looking after your every need. And then you're arriving in these magnificent hotels that some of them are remarkable. This is one that we actually own. This is in South Africa. It's called the Oyster Box Hotel. It's on our Best of South Africa itinerary, and we call it a stay with stories because we do use hotels that have these incredible, iconic stories behind them. And this one resonates with our company because if you remember right at the beginning of the presentation, I said to you, our chairman was sat there in the African bush looking proud with those dark glasses on. And next to him was his wife. Her name is Beatrice Tolman. She's the chairman of our river cruise company called Uniworld. Now, Stanley took Beatrice here on their first date when they were in their early 20s. And when most people go on a date, they may say, I'll buy you a glass of wine. I'm going to treat you to a meal. Stanley said, you know what? One day I'm going to buy this hotel for you. And true to his word, 15 years ago, we did buy this hotel, and it's now part of our collection. But it gives you an idea of some of the special hotels and some of the special stays that the guests will get on our itineraries. So in terms of our group size, I think it's important to know we have changed the way we operate for 2021 and into 2022. In Africa and Asia, we have a maximum group size of 20 on all our trips. They will operate on smaller numbers than that. And in Europe, USA and Canada, it's a maximum group size of up to 29. But we can also do tailor-made itineraries if there's a group of 10 guests. So if there's 10 of you listening today and you want to go on your own private tour anywhere in the world that we operate, get in touch with Martin, tell him what you want. He'll give us a call and we'll build your own unique itinerary for you. So we've looked already about where we go. So let's have a look at some of these amazing destinations throughout the world that are really, really popular at the moment. In Africa, in South Africa in particular, is going great guns for us. I think Mr. Greg Wallace, anyone knows Greg off MasterChef, he's recently had a TV show. I think they had over 4 million viewers on that TV show in the UK, and it's made people start thinking about South Africa. And I think because we've all been penned in our homes for so long, we're all dying to get on a plane and get away, we are ready now to do something a little bit more adventurous. I think we're ready for this once in a lifetime itinerary, and in South Africa is something that we do really, really well. So this is one of the itineraries I wanted to talk about, the essence of South Africa, 10-day itinerary available for 2021 and into 2022. 4 nights in Cape Town at the beginning, going into the Cape Peninsula. We go down to Hermanus, which is beautiful for the whale watching. We've got some of the incredible wineries included, where you can go on an incredible wine tram in Franschhoek. And then we actually include the internal flight up to Kruger National Park, where we have 3-night safaris included. And then we end the itinerary in Johannesburg, so you can learn all about the history there. Johannesburg is actually an incredible city. We go to Soweto, and you get to see obviously the different side and some of the good and the bad of South Africa in terms of its history. So it's an amazing itinerary. And Martin, like I said before, it's a small group. So many of these trips are maxed at 20 guests, and we do operate these trips on lower numbers. But during your time in Cape Town, you'll have all your must-see sites experiences. So what we mean by that is we'll include an orientation tour, so you get to know the city, you get to know where to go, what to do, what to experience. What we do include is a visit to Table Mountain, and not only that, we actually go up in the cable car. And the cable car that you can see there, Martin, it's called an aerial cableway, and as you're going all the way up to the top of Table Mountain, it rotates 360 degrees. So you've got incredible views all over Cape Town and the Cape Peninsula below. And Cape Town is absolutely beautiful. The V&A waterfront, the wineries, the whale watching in Hermanus, and we can arrange so much for the guests there. If they want to do something a little bit different, like an electric bike ride followed by a beach bar barbecue, we can do that. So there's lots of experiences we can arrange for the guests, and also they'll have free time to enjoy themselves. And they'll have the very best expertly trained travel directors looking after them from the start to the finish. And because the group size is smaller, they get to know each guest on a personal basis, and they get to offer that real personal experience. So you get more out of your itinerary. And it means as well, when we go into the safari, we can actually choose these idyllic lodges to stay in. Now, this is called Beck's Safari Lodge in Karanga National Park. It's a private game reserve. So it really gives us incredible elevated African safari experience. And because it only has 10 lodges or 10 suites within the lodge, when we arrive, it's reserved just for our guests. So they really get to see the best and have these real unique experiences and get the best of what they see. So hopefully they can see the iconic sites, and of course the big five when it comes to the wildlife. But Martin, this is just one of many itineraries for not just South Africa, Africa. So we have itineraries that concentrate just on Cape Town. We have itineraries that go into Botswana. We have itineraries that look at Namibia. We have itineraries that go into Eastern Africa in Kenya for the incredible safaris there as well. So there's lots to go and do with us in Africa. And again, give Martin a call. He can get in touch with us and we can look at some amazing opportunities. I'm going to pick out, I can't go through everything tonight. I'm going to pick out some highlights. So USA and Canada in particular is really, really popular for us. This is our Canadian Rockies itinerary, which is a 9-day trip with the Rocky Mountaineer option at the end. I've done this. It's absolutely incredible. I don't think anything can prepare you for how beautiful the Canadian Rockies is. So when you're talking about getting the very, very best of a Canadian Rockies itinerary, I think this itinerary ticks all the boxes because it starts in the fantastic city of Calgary, where they have the Calgary Stampede at certain times of year. And then you go into the most dramatic part of the Canadian Rockies, where we're going to climb up into Lake Louise and see that beautiful, incredible lake with its beautiful colors and amazing mountain backdrop. But then I'm going to go up the Columbia Icefield to Jasper National Park in Alberta, where we have 2 incredible nights. We're going to come back along what they call the Icefield Parkway, which is up in the top of the mountains. We call it one of the best journeys by road in the world, where we're going to go on to the biggest glacier in North America, the Athabasca Glacier. And then we're going to come back and have 3 nights in the beautiful town of Banff, which has Sulphur Mountain as its backdrop. And then we have 2 nights on the Rocky, or 2 days and a night in Kamloops on the Rocky Mountaineer train. But there's so many amazing experiences, and it's one of these itineraries, man. When you're there, it gets better and better every day. You think you're not going to top what you've seen at Lake Louise, and then you get up to Jasper with its incredible dark skies where you can see the Milky Way and the stars at night. It's absolutely amazing. And then you go to places like this, the Athabasca Glacier, when you go out on these amazing snowmobiles and you stand on the ice and you realize you're standing on something that's not going to be there forever, and it's eventually going to melt away. But it's the biggest glacier in the whole of North America. So it's packed with lots and lots of amazing experiences, and the scenery is incredible. This is Moraine Lake that we include a cruise onto during our time here as well. And personally, I think there's lots of times a year you can go to Canada. When I went in early May. It was end of April, early May, and some of the lakes were still frozen and had a layer of snow on top of them. Personally, I think it's better to go a little bit later in the season. So July, probably July is probably the best time for me, because then you've still got the snow on the top of the mountains and the lakes have thawed. So you've got these beautiful emerald colours coming through, these iconic lakes that just take your breath away. And a lot of the wildlife has come out of hibernation as well. So the bears, the grizzly bears, even though you don't want to get too close to a grizzly bear, but you do want to see one if you can. Obviously, there's so much to see. The American bald eagles, it's just absolutely, it just takes your breath away. It's such an amazing place. And you've got to do, if you're going to do Canada and you can afford it, the Rocky Mountaineer train is spectacular. So we give two options, and you can see on this image here, you've got what you call the gold leaf carriage there at the back of the train. So you can see in that gold leaf carriage how it gives you this totally different viewing angle, how it's an elevated coach, and you sit high, you sit in the highest possible seat with everybody else on the train, and you have this amazing dome ceiling with these incredible panoramic views as you traverse from Jasper to Kamloops and then pass through the Fraser River and eventually into the city of Vancouver. And the food and the service, if you spend these 2 days on this train, is incredible, especially in Gold Leaf, because you're waited on hand and foot. For example, in the morning, you'll have scones and coffee and tea for morning. And once you've had that, you then go down the stairs into the bottom carriage, which you can see, and that's where the restaurant is. And then you will have your breakfast. And then in the afternoon, you'll have your lunch and then an afternoon snack. And alcohol is served throughout the day, so you can drink to your heart's content. But the views are spectacular. And what I love about the Gold Leaf carriage, not only sitting this also, if you look underneath at the end of the train there, you've got this open area that you can stand at any point, literally stick your head over the edge, take in that fresh air, take some amazing pictures. And as you are traveling, the service by the staff is amazing. There's commentary, so they talk about some of the things that you'll see. They describe things like Mount Robson, describe some of the amazing sights, the waterfalls that you'll see. They'll pick out some pieces of wildlife to look out for. And it was on our last day of the trip, on the last morning of the trip, we were on the train, and we didn't see any bears at all up until this moment. And the lady on the train said, right, coming up on the left-hand side now, we're going to literally slow the train down to walking pace. Keep your eyes peeled. You may see some bears in the wildlife. And we saw this magnificent, once a grizzly bear, this magnificent brown bear with a baby cub. And it was just like you didn't know whether to take a picture, take it in. And it was amazing to see. It was quite an amazing experience. It really, really was. And what I found about doing this whole Canadian experience was I was so glad we had the first element with us off the train, because even though this is a spectacular and luxurious journey, you are looking at everything from a distance and you are traveling. Those nights we had prior in Jasper and Banff, you are in the Rocky Mountains, you are face to face with nature, and you're out in the elements and you can take it all in. You can have the glass of wine next to the lake. You can roast s'mores over the campfire. You can really take it all in. So it's a brilliant way to do it combined with the tour and then the rail. So wonderful itineraries. And again, we've got lots of different tours of Canada, which I'll go into shortly. And it ends in Vancouver, which is one of the most beautiful cities in the world. It's got amazing parts to it. Obviously, you've got the harbour front that you can see there. And you've got beautiful Stanley Park across the bridge, which you can take a bike, go for a bike ride around, or just go and relax. Just go and take in the sights. And it's an amazing city, great climate, not cold. Doesn't go much below freezing in Vancouver during the winter months, and it's quite nice, temperate. It's quite similar to our climate, really, during the summer. So yeah, beautiful place to be. One of my most favourite cities to go to in the world. So moving on, Canada still, you might get people a little bit more adventurous, and they want to go to Canada in the winter time. They want to go and see the incredible Northern Lights. Now, to do that, you have to go into a place in Canada called Manitoba, the province of Manitoba. It's really far north. To give you an idea of Manitoba, and where it is, to actually arrive into the place Churchill, where we actually start this itinerary. It's a 5-hour flight from where we start the itinerary to where we get to see the Northern Lights, which is Churchill, which is under the incredible Aurora Bowl. So this place is actually situated under the Aurora Bowl, which the Aurora Bowl is, when you look at the planet, it's like directly virtually at the top of the planet, and the Northern Lights can be seen over 300 nights of the year. And the best place to go out and see them is to go out and there's this incredible vehicle. I keep going back and forth, but you can see it on this slide here. It's called a Tundra Buggy Lodge. And it goes out in this subarctic landscape in the middle of nowhere. And we actually have a night on this incredible vehicle where we dine in this restaurant. And you can see it's got ceiling windows again. And it's the most amazing place to see the Northern Lights, because when they do come out, they come out right above your head. And if you're brave enough and you can bear with the cold, because it does get absolutely freezing, then you can put your all-weather suit on that will be supplied, and you can go and stand on the open deck to take in some incredible views like this. Now, this itinerary runs in February and March of 2022. We also operate a similar itinerary to this in October, but that goes looking for the polar bears. And on that itinerary, we don't just dine on this Tundra Buggy Lodge at night. It actually does have some rooms on here. We actually stay on here for 2 nights. So if you are looking for something completely different, and you want to go and see the polar bears in their natural habitat, then definitely get in touch with Martin. You can give us a call and we can have a look at that as well. Now, moving south into USA, this is an itinerary that I've done. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. It's called A Tasting Sounds of the South. It goes from Nashville, Tennessee for 3 nights, into Memphis for 2 nights, into Natchez in Louisiana, in the cotton country, and eventually into incredible New Orleans for 3 nights. So I can't describe to you what this is like in terms of experiences. We've been talking about Canada and visually how it takes you away, it takes your breath away. This, in terms of experiences, meeting people, live music, amazing food, different landscapes in terms of the architecture, how it changes as you go down through the spine of the United States, really. Incredible history, good and bad. It's got it all. I absolutely love it. I loved every single minute of this trip. And before I went, it wasn't a trip that was on my bucket list, but if it's not on your bucket list, it definitely should be. If you like any sort of music, if you like any sort of social entertainment, then this is the trip to go and enjoy. If you like food, it's absolutely incredible. And we do lots of amazing things. We have the Johnny Cash experience in Nashville. When we arrived, it was literally on Thanksgiving, and our travel director said to us, look, don't expect the bars in Nashville to be busy. We got there at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and within 5 minutes, we got invited to somebody's house for Thanksgiving dinner. You know, people are so friendly. They want to know you. They want you to get involved in their music and their way of life. It's amazing. And what we do to help this is when we actually go into Natchez, which is cotton country, we actually go to an incredible place, an amazing stately home plantation, where we meet this lady, Esther Carpenter, who's a famous chef in New Orleans. She's been on many TV shows in America. Been on Ellen DeGeneres' TV show doing cooking demonstrations. And she owns her own restaurant. So what we do this night, instead of dining in the hotel, we meet Esther and we dine with her at her home. And it's the most incredible array of Southern cuisine that you can imagine. It just melts in your mouth, and she's such a nice, gentle soul. When you arrive there, she literally waits for you on her veranda with a local cocktail, and she tells you all about the history, and good and bad, of course. And then it's an incredible experience to go and dine there as well. And then we arrive into amazing New Orleans, and New Orleans, we stay in the French Quarter, and it's got this, it's like you're in France. It's like you are in France from 200 years ago. Narrow streets, incredible old buildings. They believe in voodoo. They have incredible way of life, amazing nightlife once again. And there's so much to this itinerary. Memphis for the blues music. It's just brilliant. It really, really is. But it's not just obviously Canada and USA and South Africa. We travel all around the world, ladies and gentlemen. So if you are interested, you want to go to Japan, India, Nepal, China, or Southeast Asia, then please have a look at some of our itineraries there. I've just basically snapshotted some of the itineraries we do. So if you ever want to go and do Japan and learn about the incredible history in Japan, this is a great trip. It's all on the bullet train, and this is all included as one of our itineraries. India, this is the Golden Triangle and more, because it goes deep into Rajasthan and the Blue City Jaipur that you can see there on the image. But it also has, you know, Delhi, the old town of Delhi, the Chandigarh Bazaar, which is real India. It's got Agra, where you get to see the Taj Mahal. It's got the Ranthambore National Park, where you go looking for the Bengal tigers. It's got the pink city of Jaipur, where we do a rickshaw ride through the town. There's so much included on these incredible itineraries. So we actually stay in this amazing heritage resort, which was once a hunting lodge of the Jaipur family as well. So lots of incredible experiences included. Vietnam is very, very popular as well. You can combine this with Cambodia, or you can do it as a standalone itinerary. This starts in this one starts in Halong Bay. It's got 2 nights in Hanoi. It's got a bay cruise included. It's got all your internal flights included throughout. We get to see the Mekong River. It says visit Ho Chi Minh in Hanoi, the colourful market of Hoi An. Join a lantern making workshop or fishing live tour, so you can learn about, you know, original Vietnamese traditions. And then we've got make a difference experiences as well. So we have lunch at the Koto restaurant, which is a non-profit social enterprise, and it's training disadvantaged young people to get into that hospital industry. So we're giving back where we can as well. And in terms of the stay with stories on this one, stay on a traditional style Vietnamese junk boat for an overnight cruise in Halong Bay. So amazing experiences. And we have over 100 itineraries for the UK and Europe, and not just in autumn, winter and spring, but throughout the whole year. And this is one of the ones that I thought I'd pick out, because Croatia is popular. And when you look at Croatia, it's hard not to see why. You got obviously the beautiful city of Dubrovnik, which has been made famous by, of course, Game of Thrones, which seems a lifetime ago now since that was on television. But really, to see Croatia, it's a great way to go and see it from the ocean. So what we do is we include a 7-night cruise. It starts in Korčula, all the way around the beautiful islands of Korčula, Hvar, to Split, and all that stunning coastline before you get to the beautiful city of Apache, which has this incredible Roman theatre. You think the Colosseum is amazing. Well, the one in Apache is amazing. It's all a wall. It's completely connected all the way around. And then we'll end the itinerary in Zagreb. So this has a 7-night cruise included as well. We have lots of itineraries for the UK. Italy is very, very popular, but I thought I'd pick out Sicily because it's something different. This is a 9-day trip of Sicily. We have over 12 itineraries for Italy, and you can do Italy and Sicily's combination. This is different. This is something a little bit unique, where you can go and see Sicily, an amazing history there. And some of the things that we do, again, connect with locals, visit Maria Milano's wine farm at the foot of Mount Etna for a walking tour through the estate and cellars, and enjoy homemade appetizers accompanied by local wine. So in terms of our discounts, you might have seen it flash up at the bottom of your screen at the beginning, but we've got a massive saving at the moment of 15% off our itineraries for 2021 and 2022. Now, just say they're booked by 25th of Feb, but we've just extended it to the 15th of March. So that has been extended to the 15th of March, and that is 15% off per person for 2021 and 2022 itinerary. So my advice would be, get that bucket list destination booked in now for next year. Get it booked in with Martin. Get your 15% off. The deposits are only £100 per person. Get it locked in. Get your deposits off with Martin. Get your deposit paid with Martin. Get your 15% off. That's 30% off per couple, and then you've got something in the future to look forward to. And you can pay it off month by month, or however you want to work it. But I think now is the time. We've seen in the last week that our bookings are starting to go through the roof again, which is great to see. In terms of our guest satisfaction, just to remind you that our average rating is 4.7 out of 5, and hopefully you can see that going on a guided tour is probably not what you expected, especially not with Trafalgar. Especially when you look at the quality of the accommodation, the depth of experiences that we offer, what we are doing to look after you, so you can just sit back and relax and enjoy the whole journey. You literally don't have to worry about one thing from the moment to the end, and also through the incredible range of itineraries we've got around the world. So it's been an absolute pleasure, Martin. I'm going to come back to you at HQ and see if you've got any questions.
Wow, Lee, I'm gobsmacked. I really am. It was like, I wasn't expecting some of that.
That's a good sign now.
I was watching and going, OMG, right. I wrote that down. I want to do that. The hubby's probably going to like go mad when his credit card gets hit. But, just, the Rocky Mountaineer, I mean, I'm sold on that, I mean, the wildlife, I mean, I'd love to see birds in their own natural habitat, and to see that would be amazing. I know it can't be guaranteed, but just going in search is just an adventure in itself.
Yeah, it's amazing. It was, and when we did it, it was incredible. We did so many special things on the itinerary in a way that they build in the experiences. You've got your day to day. You know what's going to be included, Martin. But then they'll do nice little extras in there, little surprises along the way. So when we had dinner in Jasper, he said to us after dinner, "Would anybody like to come for an after dinner drink?" And obviously we all said yes. And he said, "Well, we're not going to have it in the restaurant. Come and join the travel director. I'm going to take you out for a little walk." And it was obviously it was end of April, beginning of May, so it's a little bit. It wasn't still a little bit chilly at night. But he actually built a fire up near the lake in Jasper, opposite Jasper Lake. And he said, "Right, have a sit down next to the fire. In Canada, this is what we do. We have s'mores." So it's like when they melt the chocolate, what they do, they melt the chocolate, then they melt the marshmallow over the fire, and then they put it onto a piece of chocolate which melts it together, and then they get 2 wafer biscuits and they make it into like this sandwich. And I was like, wow, never even thought of that. And then you sat next to this fire with a glass of wine, got the lake in front of you, the stars above you, and the mountains in the distance, with this little Canadian treat and a glass of wine. It was just magical. It's those little bits that they add in which can be just as good as anything, really. They're the things that I remember anyway.
Oh, God. Well, that leads me into a question that we have from Liz. Sorry, this one was from James. Sorry, I'll do Liz's in a moment. So with the tour and all the experiences and the excursions, once they pay the price, is there anything extra that they would need to pay? Or is it all included? It's everything is there, everything's for them.
Yeah, so what we do is we do leave optionals on there, definitely. So we tend to, when you go through, if your guest was going to get in touch with you, Martin, and go through one of the itineraries, it will tell you what's included on the day-to-day, how many meals are included. So it might say, for example, South Africa, that itinerary could be in South, I think I had 21 meals included. But then what it will do is in Cape Town, will take you to the top of Cable Mountain. They'll have the orientation tour. They have an experience where we meet locals on the beach and have a beach barbecue and a wine tasting experience, which I didn't mention. So that's included as well, and some meals there. But then they'll leave out on that particular trip Robben Island. But if somebody is interested in going to Robben Island and learning the history of Nelson Mandela, and where we don't include everything because we think some things are a bit personal, like when you get to Jasper, we go down to the Anabaskia River and you can do a float trip. It's not like whitewater rafting, but it is on one of those type vessels. And that you can do that down the river, or you can do a helicopter ride over Banff. So you can see, and like Martin, you'll be able to advise your guests what they are on the free time. And we can tell you even the local price prior. So you can say to your guests, right, this is what these are all the things you have got included. But that night when it's free time, if you did want to do that, this is how much it will cost, or you can just have it as free time. It's entirely up to you.
Oh, amazing. That sounds really good. But from the sounds of it, I don't know whether they'll be able to cope with all these trips, but you would need a holiday afterwards, wouldn't you, after all this?
Yeah, I think that's a really good point, actually. You can, because there's different trip styles, you can pick the trip that suits you. For example, now in Utah, which has got this amazing national park, you can actually do a walking tour of Utah. So that's something that might be interesting. Or if you didn't want that, you can do one of those at leisure itineraries. But what we find is, Martin, is a lot of people who book these trips will either add pre and post accommodation with us. So the start and the end of the itinerary will have a few nights either side so they can relax. And many people book it in combination with something that you'll know from your expertise that they might do a tour sit on land, and then they'll dovetail it with a cruise.
Yeah.
And they'll go and do a cruise afterwards. So it's a really nice way to combine it and do it. And if they want to come in and fly somewhere else afterwards, then you can book the flights with us. It's the whole package, and then you can add in extra accommodation or extra cruises along the way. So you make it into a big overall journey.
So it's more personal, more tailored, isn't it?
Yeah.
To do it.
Yeah.
It's good to know that, Lee. Another one was you mentioned families in the presentation. And I know obviously it will vary by tour, but is there a minimum age for children at all? That players?
Yeah, they have to be the minimum age of 5. 5 to 17 will get a 10% child discount. And there is certain itineraries, like for example, you can go and do Costa Rica with us. Beautiful itinerary in Costa Rica, absolutely amazing. And then you can do an itinerary called Monkeys, Jungles, and Volcanoes in Costa Rica. And that's the family look of it, where it's got the zip lines included and more experiences for the kids. Or in Italy, they do an Italian one where it's pizza making, or when you get to the Colosseum, the kids get to don the Roman uniform and pretend to be a Roman soldier in the Colosseum and all those types. So they change the experiences to suit. But yeah, it's not like the family itineraries are our number one seller, I'll be honest with you, but we can cater for families. And you often find it's sometimes like the teenagers are getting to that age now where the parents will say, well, we'll do something a little bit different this year. Do you want to go and see a little bit of America in a different way? Do you want to, instead of just going to Las Vegas, let's start the itinerary in San Francisco and we'll go and do it all, but we'll have everything looked after for us and we'll end in Las Vegas, if you know what I mean. So there's all different types of things that we can do there. And obviously tonight we're talking just about Trafalgar, but I look after other brands. So Cost Saver is another one. It's a lower level in terms of accommodation. It's 3 and 4 star. They do guided tours, but on their guided tours, they just include the must-see sites. That is it. They don't do all of these amazing experiences with just the must-see sites, and then it's free time for you to go off and do your own thing. So if people want different options, we can cater for what they want, really.
That's amazing. That's absolutely. There's a tour for everyone then, by the sound of it.
Yeah.
They've got every corner, every family covered. But I think you're right. I mean, people have not been able to travel for 12, probably going to be nearly 18 months. So why not get that bucket list trip booked? Do something totally different, and spend family time together, or with your loved one, your wife, or mistress if you have one. I know we shouldn't say those things, but you never know. You never know. But it is about the amazing experiences, and it's immersive in the culture. I mean, one thing you said, I want to go and visit Esther because she sounds fabulous.
Oh, she's lovely, and she's got that real southern voice, that real relaxing voice, and I've got a video of that experience. I'll send it to you afterwards so you can see what she's really like. She's dead nice, and the food's amazing. She always says this is the best food you've had, isn't it? Best food. You're like, yeah, it is, Esther. You're amazing.
You better not tell her because she gave you a cocktail on the door on the way in. Well, if you're
I tell you what, it's strong as well.
Sounds good. So just before we finish, I've got a question for you. So you've done some of the trips. Yourself, and what was your favorite trip? What would you say is your favorite?
Canada was probably my favorite in terms of being blown away by experience, by the sites, like I tried to say, and I felt really lucky to do it because I did it when I first started with the company 8 years ago. I felt really privileged to have the opportunity to do it, and then a couple of years after that, I went and did the Tastes and Sounds of the South, and again I thought, how's this going to compare to Canada? But it did. It was a totally different experience with the people, with the music, and the memories from that. And I'm still friends with a lot of the, but that's an agent trip that was when I was working in Australia. I'm still friends with all the agents from it. And we even started our own little Facebook group afterwards. And it just proves those connections you can have with people. First night, you see you small group, you're like, oh, I'm not sure about them, I'm not sure about that person. But it's sort of, but as the trip goes on, you go, oh, wasn't that a brilliant experience today? And lifelong friends, some of them afterwards. It's amazing.
Oh, amazing. So, and one last question before we finish up. So, if you were able to go on any of the tours, what is your bucket list tour that you do?
For me, personally, at the moment, my heart swung towards South Africa. It really is. In terms of the city, Cape Town, it looks amazing. In terms of there's so much you can do there, the whale watching in Hermanus, the winery, the vineyard visits, the incredible tabletop mountain, and then you've got the amazing safaris. And something I've always wanted to do. Yeah, that's my next bucket list. But then I really want to do Peru and Machu Picchu as well. So there's two. I mean, that's it. I need to start saving pennies and get these things booked in for myself as well.
Well, I mean, I think mine is probably definitely the Canadian Rockies and the Rocky Mountaineer. But the one, I think, South Africa, to do a safari and table. Yeah, it just those two sing to me. They really do.
Yeah.
We've got to do them. So I'll try and get the hubby to book one for my 50th, I think. So
definitely, you deserve it. You deserve it, Martin. You deserve it. So yeah, leave some hints around after this, and let us know. We'll sort you out.
Brilliant. Oh, guys, well, thank you, Lee, for joining us this evening. I really do appreciate it and coming to talk to everybody. As usual, guys, you can call me to book any of these fabulous tours with Trafalgar or Cost Saver, and we will look after you and get you booked onto some amazing bucket list trips. You can call me on 0161 735 0112. As you know, you can always get me on Facebook at Silly Hours as well. So send me a message on Facebook, or you can drop me an email. My email address is on the Facebook page. If you are watching back, guys, some offers may not be available, but just give us a call and we will always get you the best deal with Trafalgar Tours. If you are watching, please do click the alarm bell, which is on screen, so you don't miss any of our live videos that will be coming up over the next few months. Lee, it's been amazing, and I'm sure we'll have you back for one of the other brands very, very soon. If you would like to come back, you're certainly welcome.
Well, I'd love to. Yeah, thanks for having me. It's been an absolute pleasure. Really enjoyed it. Thanks, Martin. I'll speak to you soon.
Brilliant. Thanks, guys. Thanks for joining in, and we will catch you with very soon. Bye for now.